All right, everyone, a very good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Let me know in the chat box how is everyone's day going on. For those of you who would be celebrating the festive season of Christmas tomorrow and today night, I wish each and every one of you a very merry Christmas, right? So you will remember that Master Harsh has, wished us well in advance. So how many of you are excited for today's second live streaming session? Let me know in the chat box below. Let me know your plans for Christmas. What do you plan to do? How do you plan to spend time? I would love to know your answers on that as well. All right, so let us start with today's second live streaming session with a quick introduction of the one and only Harsh. I am Harsh. I have 8 years of trading experience. I have been trading the forex markets, the commodity markets like oil, gold, silver, as well as the US based indice markets, correct? We have the Dow Jones 30, the Nasdaq 100, and the S&P 500. I am more of a technical trader. I specialize in technical analysis such as supply and demand, price action, order flow analysis, swing analysis, wave analysis, and Fibonacci retracement analysis. When it comes to the field of technical analysis, the field is quite vast and expansive. But the mentioned categories are the ones that I would be focusing on. I have been blessed to be trained and to be mentored by people who used to work as floor traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Under their guidance, I have been, blessed to attain and gain a lot of value in terms of experience and expertise. I have also been successful in handling $25 million worth of portfolio. And on top of that, I've been able to generate a consistent profitability return between 30 to 35% on an annual basis. Now, the reason for me to share all this information with our beloved community members is so that you can be rest assured that the information that Harsh is providing is being provided by someone who has the expertise, the knowledge, and the experience when it comes to the financial markets. So, how many of you are excited and are, over the top for attending today's second live streaming session? Let me know in the comment in the comment box below. Make sure we are having a good amount of interaction taking place during our live streaming sessions, because only based on your interaction, your reciprocation to my questions that I ask, can I have an understanding about how well the people who are attending the live stream sessions, how well can they understand, and based on that, how can I modify my content so that I can keep providing the most high value content so that everyone can understand. Correct? So, how many people agree with me? Let me know in the chat box and let me know your opinions as well. So, as we have been observing the markets, right? But before that, it is very important to ask each and everyone who are attending this live stream session, what are your objectives when you are attending such a live stream session? Let me know your comments in the chat box below. It is very important for me to have answers to these questions by you so that I can understand with what reason, with what logic do people attend these live stream sessions. All right. So people are saying that yes, Harsh, we are here to make money. Harsh, we are here to learn. We are here to earn. Exactly. So the main objective of everyone who are attending these live stream sessions is first and foremost to make money consistently. How many of you agree with what I'm saying? If you agree with me, let me know in the comment box, right? By saying yes, we agree, or you can write whatever you want, but make sure the reciprocation is taking place. So, the main objective for people attending the live stream sessions is to make money, and that is exactly what we at Dolphin Markets have been providing to you on a consistent basis, right? How many of you are aware of our financial sheet? We have been proving to everyone who has been attending our live stream sessions that over the span of 3 months approximately, with the first trade that was showcased around 18th of September, till date, we have been proving day after day, week after week, month after month that first and foremost, it is possible to make money in the financial markets, right? So, how many of you would first and foremost be interested in making money in the financial markets? Let me know in the comment box below. That is good. Everyone is coming with the main focus of making money. And how many of you would love to make profits in the markets, right? How many of you would love to make profits in the markets? Let me know in the chat box. Okay, yes, we would want to make money in the markets. That is good. Now, how many of you would want to make money consistently on a regular basis in the markets? Let me know the answer of that as well in the chat box. And that is exactly the point, right? Everyone here is coming with the aim of understanding what Dolphin Markets is providing, understanding what Harsh is providing, but the ultimate goal is to make money. So we at Dolphin Markets have been consistently providing you with hot stock recommendations, correct? Money making strategies in the Indian stock market. Over the span of the last 3 months, we have been consistently taking trades and have consistently booking profits, right? Everyone loves to book profits, and we have been doing that quite consistently. So, based on the last 3 months, everyone who have been attending our live streaming sessions are aware. But to those who are new to the session, over the span of the last 3 months, we have consistently generated a cumulative profitability of 237%, right? Aren't these profits fantastic and marvelous? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. So based on the 3 months credibility in terms of our achievements, we have done marvelous, correct? But there are many people who still doubt our services, who still are not clear or are still hesitant in terms of understanding exactly what Harsh is doing, exactly what Dolphin Markets are providing. So we are showcasing that yes, we have been, successful in generating a cumulative profitability of 237%. But most recently, just talking about December, right? Let me just showcase to you. We have taken certain trades in December, approximately around 5 or 6, and just based in the month of December, which is the current month running, we have been sitting at a cumulative profitability of 41%. You heard that right. 41% profitability has been achieved in the first 3 weeks of December. How many of you would love to make and generate with us such significant profits? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. Even based on the last week's profitability, we have been sitting on a fabulous cumulative profit target of 10%, right? So just based on last week, we have been achieving around 10%, right? So you have been seeing it for yourself that on a weekly basis, we have been able to generate approximately 10 to 15%, right? That is how we can calculate the overall profitability just based in the month of December, which is at 40. So give or take 15 to 20% overall is the average profit that we have been generating in the markets. 3 months have been finished. In 3 months, 38 trades have been taken. So give or take 13 trades have been provided on a monthly basis, and we have been quite phenomenal, and we are proud to say that we have been achieving such returns where no other competitor that you would be aware about has been able to achieve such significant returns, right? So how many of you are understanding what I'm saying, and how many of you understand the value that dolphin markets and Harsh are providing to you? Remember, we want to provide you with high value content. So we provide you content based on analysis, the market analysis, right, of the Indian stock market. We provide you with hot stock recommendations, money making opportunities, and we are providing you with education content. So when you're getting a trifactor of such high value content, it is in your best interest to be a part of Dolphin Markets and to subscribe to the live stream sessions where we would be making sure to provide you with hot stock recommendations as well. If we have been profitable, and we have been showcasing our profitability in the last 3 months, if such significant returns have been generated in just 3 months, and overall we have been showcasing it on a real time basis, that trades as close as 19th of December, right? Which is just based on last week, 19th of December, 16th of December, such trades that have been closed recently at a profitability, right, of 5% per trade. That just showcases that it is possible to make money in the markets, and it is possible to make money in the markets consistently. So, how many of you would want to make profits in the markets, and how many of you would want to make profits consistently in the markets? Let me know in the comment box below. So people are saying, yes, Harsh, we would want to make great returns. And that is exactly what Harsh at Dolphin Markets is providing. But please bear in mind, since the value of our content is of top notch quality, we are only providing you with high value content. So we want to make sure that the clients that we are providing our services to are going to be VIP clients, right? How many of you are aware of what is a VIP client? If you know the answer, let me know in the chat box below. So VIP clients are very important clients, correct? The definition of VIP remains the same. But what do you mean by VIP client? VIP clients are those customers who are willing to be a part of Dolphin Markets, who are willing to subscribe to the live stream sessions, who are willing to take trades on their own trading accounts, and who are willing to make profits in the markets. So, how many of you think that you are a VIP client? If you are, let me know in the chat box below. How many of you want to make profits in the market? How many of you want to replicate our hot stock recommendations? Let me know in the chat box below, right? So everyone is saying yes. So that is good because I'm getting a good amount of reciprocation where people are saying, yes, Harsh, we want to be the VIP clients of these live streaming sessions. So you should become a part of the VIP clients, right? For the live stream sessions, because moving forward from the month of Jan, we would be shifting from the public live stream sessions to the private live stream sessions, right? It will be only be accessible to those who are willing to become our VIP clients. So do not miss the opportunity to be a part of Dolphin Markets and to subscribe to Harsh's live streaming channel, where we would be providing you with future trade recommendations, and that can be making you a good amount of money. A very important point to get to your attention is that we are an international securities firm, correct? So we have been already internationally established, correct, in more than eight offices spread across the globe, right? We have offices in UK, in Hong Kong, in Australia, etc., etc. But mentioned, we have been established internationally. So we have just entered into the Indian market, where we are proving our clients with our trading potential, right? We want to showcase our clients that it is possible for us to generate good profits, and we have been doing quite phenomenal, right? So make sure that you are a part of these sessions, because moving forward we are going to be private. All right, we are going to shift to our private live stream sessions. How many of you understand what I've said? If you understand, let me know in the chat box. All right, so we have had a good amount of talking. So for those who are new to the live stream sessions, whenever a hot stock is identified, we call hot stocks as money making strategies in the Indian stock market, correct? So we have been providing you with hot stocks. So whenever a hot stock comes onto my radar, I will make sure to provide you with all the necessary parameters, correct? In terms of the name of the stock, in terms of the entry parameter, in terms of the 5%, as well as in terms of the position size. Please bear in mind, we also provide you with additional targets such as the first position target and second. But based on our 3 months of intense focus on the Indian stock market, we have observed that the 5% profit target is the right amount of profitability that we can expect the market to give us on a consistent basis, right? How many of you agree with me on this particular point? We have been focusing on 5%, and we have been focusing on showcasing our trading potential to our clients, correct? So we want to take more number of trades, as well as we want to make more profits in terms of consistent trades, correct? More number of trades and more number of profit booking. That is our entire objective, and I'm pretty sure by now everyone who is attending our live streaming sessions are clear with that. All right, so moving forward, let us quickly have sorry, let us quickly have an overview in terms of what the markets are currently doing. Please bear in mind, today is 24th. Tomorrow, the 25th of December, the markets are going to be closed on the auspicious and festive season of Christmas. All right. So today would be the last working day, and tomorrow is going to be the holiday, right, for the Indian stock market. I am sure everyone has understood by now, right? So coming to the overall sentiment of what the markets have been showcasing, let me show it to you. It is very important to have a clear understanding of what is the overall outlook as of now. So based on the current market sentiment, right, we can see that the BSE Sensex has risen by 0.42%, right? While the Nifty 50 has increased by 0.5% and is very close to the 23,861 price level. So you have to understand that the the focus for now has been just on the positive sentiment based on the we call that as the Santa Claus fever, right, or the Santa Claus effect. Please bear in mind that as of now, the markets have been optimistic since today morning, right? Just based on Nifty, at the moment, 31 stocks have been trading higher, right? So 19 stocks have been undervalued and 31 stocks have been overvalued, with gains led by Adani Enterprises, Tata Motors, Trend, Dr. Reddy's, and Britannica Industries, right? On the other hand, there were losses which were basically capped by Tata Steel, Jindal Steel, JSW Steel, Indus Bank, SBI, as well as Hindalco Industries, right? So overall, you have to understand that more or less the markets are still having bullish sentiment. Let me just show you some important news. So Asian stocks had edged up higher on Tuesday. Remember, the Asian stocks are coming closer to their market closure sessions because of the time difference, and through moves were substituted in a holiday curtailed week. Remember, tomorrow's Christmas, so there has been a reduction in liquidity and in trading volume, right? While the greenback, which is basically the dollar, has held a near 2 year high, held by elevated US Treasury yields, as well as investors prepared for fewer Federal Reserve rate cuts in the year 2025. So I hope you're getting a clear point. Because of the global markets optimism, the impact has also trickled into the Indian stock market, correct? So looking in terms of the overall sentiment, today has been a bullish sentiment based on the indices, right? Let me just show you the overall outlook of the indices, where majority Majority of the indices have been overperforming, correct? Am I correct? Let me know in the chat box if I'm correct. All right. So let me just show you the indices. Overall, since the morning, the markets had been bullish, but now with the sentiment of the FI, remember, even based on the FII and the DII data, we have been seeing. One second, why is the market not coming properly? Let me just go to the home and let me show it to you again. Since today morning, there has been very strong optimism, right? Especially with the reduction in the number of federal meetings that will be taking place in US. The dollar has risen significantly. The interest rate cut of 25 basis point that had taken place in based on last week, right? There was a reduction of 25 basis point from 4.75 to 4.5. That itself has resulted in the markets to increase in the value of dollar. So if the dollar value has risen, there has been an inverse relationship on the indices. So we will be talking about those as well. So just let me show you based on indices. Yes, in the morning they all were optimistic with the overall sentiment still being bearish. But as of now, there has been a slight decline. Remember, the markets are changing on a second to second basis, right? Just because the market has been bullish since morning does not necessarily translate for the entire day to be optimistic. The news events have been backed majorly because of the global sentiment, right? And especially with the effect that is called as the Santa Claus effect, especially when the days prior to Christmas, the markets are generally in an optimistic and a bullish sentiment. So that has trickled into the Indian markets, and the markets were doing quite phenomenally well. But as of now, the sectors that have been appreciating quite significantly have been Nifty, fast moving consumer goods, the Nifty auto, and the Nifty consumption. While on the and one more thing, in terms of the Nifty, sorry, India VIX, anyone who is attending this session, what do you mean by VIX? Well, I'm not talking about the tablet VIX. I'm talking about the VIX, right? What is the VIX in the financial markets? So the VIX stands for the volatility index, right? What is the volatility index? The volatility index is basically the skepticism or the optimism in the markets. When the volatility index rises, there is more pessimism or more uncertainty in the markets. When the volatility index is declining, that shows that there is more optimism and more stability in the markets, right? With the volatility index being at an with a change of negative 2.44, the value has been declining. So if the volatility index is declining, that shows that now the markets are being more certain in terms of direction, in terms of sentiment, correct? So, but in terms of the other indices, we have been seeing that they started off on a bullish sentiment since today morning, but as and how the markets are coming to the end, right? We still have around 45 minutes where we will be looking at the markets and analyzing. So, as the markets are coming to an end, and with tomorrow being Christmas, there is going to be a good amount of uncertainty for the reason that the markets are closed. So, people, investors, traders are being a little obnoxious when it comes to holding trades because there can be volatility in terms of the market when they reopen day after tomorrow. So, with the uncertainty in mind, clearly you can see that the markets have been more or less, more or less declining, right, or being undervalued as of now. How many of you are understanding? Let me know in the chat box below. All right. So, in terms of our um, when it comes to FII and DII, it is important to understand that these are the crucial information. One is in terms of the performance of the indices, how well or how good the indices are performing overall. Are they advancing or are they declining based on yesterday's performance? The second factor that we look at is based on market sentiment, right? How are the markets performing? What is the overall sentiment in the market? And that is also giving us a crucial uh, or a clarity when it comes to what is the overall sentiment. Are people bullish? Are people bearish, or are people neutral, right? When I'm talking about people, I'm talking about investors and traders. But third, but most importantly, on the screen that you can see, we have been looking at the FII and DII data, right? By now, I'm sure every one of you would be clearly aware what an FII stands for and what a DII stands for, correct? If you know the answers, let me know in the chat box. What is the full form of FII and DII? So FI stands for Foreign Institutional Investor. DII stands for Domestic Institutional Investor. Currently, as of now, there has been a good amount of outflow of funds based on the FIIs. With today's recent data, we have been seeing that there has been a net positive valuation based on the FIIs and DIIs. So, on one hand, the FIIs have reduced the intensity of pulling out the funds from the Indian economy. But on the contrary, we have the DIIs who have put in a good amount of liquidity injection into the markets, correct? So the overall value based on the data of FII and DI is net positive. So that is also a good sign because that shows that there is strength that is coming into the markets, correct? So I hope we have explained in terms of what are the what is the overall sentiment, what are we expecting in terms of FII, DII, and how the data have been acting in the market, correct? Now let us come back to the charts and let us quickly have a look in terms of how our hot stocks or how our watch list is performing, right? But before commencing more into our session, how many of you are having questions? How many of you have doubts? If you do have any doubts, you can always let me know in the chat box below, correct? Because I am here to solve your queries, to help you analyze and identify your doubts and how well we can resolve them as well. So, how many of you are excited for the session to be continued, right? How many of you are excited and are willing to learn and willing to earn when it comes to the markets? Let me know in the comment box below. So we will be talking first and foremost with our hot stocks which have been running. Remember, yes, we do focus and we are proud to showcase our profitability when it comes to the markets, but there are certain trades that are also running as well. And we would be looking at those trades and we would be providing with the best alternative information, whether it is in terms of adding positions or any other form of instruction. I would be providing it to you, correct? So looking at the charts, let us start first and foremost with critical industries, correct? So based on critical industries, you can be seeing that the prices are currently in a strong area of key support, right? We had talked about this in the morning as well, and the markets have been more or less on a sideways trajectory. Remember, with Christmas being tomorrow, the markets are more or less just having a sideways movement. Why is the market having sideways movement or neutral sentiment? Could anyone let me know in the chat box? Whenever an upcoming holiday takes place, right? Especially with the month of December, there has been a huge chunk of people who are, who are the major players in the financial markets. I'm talking about fund managers. I'm talking about market movers. I'm talking about market operators. So many of the people who are in charge of generating liquidity and movement in the markets have been going on their holidays. The last 2 weeks of December and the first 2 weeks of Jan is where people are having vacations, especially those who are working in the financial markets. And because they are on vacation, there is a significant drop in liquidity, right? So the volume dries up, the liquidity reduces. So more or less, the markets are having a neutral sentiment, right? How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? Based on the most recent market movements, you can clearly see that the volume, right, has been decreasing, correct? There have been spurts of shootout in terms of liquidity, but in based on an overall context, the market's liquidities have been more or less on the lower side. How many of you are understanding? If you do understand, let me know in the chat box below. All right. Now, moving forward, we will be talking in terms of what we expect this particular stock to showcase, and we have been, informing you that yes, it is in a very important key support structure, which is going to be around the 158, 159 level, and the prices have been holding it quite significantly, right? So keeping an eye on this particular stock, and I had also talked about RSI. So we will be looking at the RSI, the MACD, the MACD, correct, as well as the moving average. Overall, the context for this particular stock is expected to be bullish. We would also be looking in terms of seasonality, where how a particular company has been functioning based on its previous years in the same month. It is of crucial importance because this helps us get a better understanding that if a stock has been appreciating in a particular month in the past, we would be expecting it to do something similar in the coming in the future years, or based on the respective months. All right, I hope everyone is understanding. If you do understand, let me know in the comment box, and if you don't, let me know that as well. So based on seasonality, as you can see, since the markets have been shown to rise significantly based on the year 2022 and 2021, as well as quite significantly a little bit based on the year 2023, we should be expecting critical industries to appreciate in value as well. So we will be keeping an eye on this particular hot stock, and any changes, any modifications, or any alterations, you can be rest assured that Harsh will be providing you with all the necessary information. Does that sound good? Right. Because, like I say to all my viewers and to all my clients, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear, correct? Let me repeat that once again. When Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear. All right. So moving forward, we will be looking at Annapurna, and it was similarly discussed on Annapurna as well, that the markets have been more or less sitting and have approached a very important key support structure, which is going to be around the 343 price area. Now, based on even the RSI, you can clearly see that the market has been undervalued. How many of you understand the usage of RSI? First and foremost, let me ask you a question. What is the full form of RSI? For those of you who know the answer, let me know in the chat box below. All right, so people are very good. So people know that the full form of RSI is relative strength index. It shows the strength of a particular stock. So if the RSI is rising, that shows that there is strength, and if the RSI is falling, that shows weakness. But to be more when it comes to the advanced concepts of RSI, people need to be aware that the RSI is basically an oscillator that is being oscillated between two extreme parameters, right? With the above parameter, which is at 70, and the below parameter, which is at 30. So whenever the oscillator reaches to the extremities of the extreme parameters, that gives us an indication that there is a possibility for prices to reverse, right? If the prices were bullish, there would be a tendency for prices to reverse, and if there was if prices were bearish, and if the RSI is undervalued, we would be expecting the prices to appreciate in value. How many of you are understanding this particular concept? So based on the entire movements, as you can see, whenever the RSI is underbought, right, we call it as being, sorry, overbought and um, overvalued and undervalued. Let us keep it as simple as that. Whenever the RSI is overvalued, I hope people can see my screen. Whenever the RSI is overvalued, there is tendency for the prices to correct. And whenever the RSI is undervalued, there is tendency for prices to rise. All right. How many of you are understanding this particular concept? If you do understand, let me know in the comment box below, right? Whenever the price approaches to the extreme parameters, if it approaches to the overvalued sector or segment, we expect a correction taking place. Similarly, if the prices are approaching an undervalued segment, which is which is around the 30 30 level mark, which is the lower dotted line, we expect the prices to increase in value. How many of you are understanding, right? If you understand and if you're clear about it, let me know in the chat box below. So people have been saying, yes, Harsh, it is very clear and people are understanding, and that is very good, right? So everyone who has understood, very good, and a huge congratulations to everyone. Good job, all right? So based on the current movement, this is what we would be expecting, right? The markets should be having or should start to showcase bullish sentiment in the coming days, right? We saw the seasonality, we saw the technicals, we saw that once prices are shifting from a bullish phase to a sideways phase, the next probable phase is going to be bullish. That is how the markets run. If the markets have been, let me just use a whiteboard and let me show to you. If the markets have been bullish and the markets start to go sideways or they start to have neutral sentiment, the next alternative for markets generally is to be bearish, and vice versa. If the markets have been bearish and the markets start to consolidate sideways, thereby indicating neutral sentiment, the next phase that is expected in the markets generally tends to be bullish. It is as simple as that, right? So, looking at the current scenario in terms of how the markets are moving, we can currently see that since the markets had been overall on a bearish sentiment, now the markets have shifted from bearish sentiment to a neutral sentiment, correct? And when such a scenario takes place, there is high probability for the prices to appreciate back to the value that they were previously at. We have been looking at the Indian stock market, and the main context for a stock to be listed on the stock exchange is for people to make money, correct? For the company to generate additional inputs of acquiring wealth and money to grow their structure, infrastructure, to expand their products and services, but ultimately providing the investor with the profitability that they want to achieve, correct? So overall, the sentiment of any stock market should generally be up. Now, when the stocks are correcting themselves, we are getting the stocks at a discounted price. How many of you are agreeing or have have come across the term called as discounted price? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. So whenever the prices are correcting and we are being provided the same value of a stock but at a discounted rate, that showcases that yes, now the prices have have got a better value to enter, and that is how the big banks, institutions, or the FIIs, how they start to position their funds, right? You do not have to worry because all this information, which is based on a more complex structure of technical or fundamental analysis or price action, will be discussed in the upcoming live stream sessions as well. Remember, we are providing you with 5 live stream sessions every day, right? Each day I would be providing you with 3 live streaming sessions. So the first and second sessions are going to be focused on the English share market when the markets are running, and the primary objective is to look for opportunities. And once I come across a hot stock opportunity, I will provide it to you. The third live stream session is focused more on education. So for all the concepts that you are currently hearing that I am talking about, for those of you who think they haven't heard about these terminologies previously, you do not have to worry because we will be talking more in detail about these concepts in the third live streaming session. So make sure that you are attentive and make sure to be a part of all our live streaming sessions, correct? So that you can earn and you can learn together. So when talking about Annapurna, looking at it from a seasonal point of view also, we have been seeing that the markets for the year 2022 has been bullish, but for the year 2023 has been bearish. So sometimes the markets are phenomenal when it comes to following the same trajectory that they had followed in the previous years. But as in how the market conditions are improvising, the markets change, correct? So we have got an unbiased scenario where 2022 was showing bullishness, but 2023 was showing bearishness. But nonetheless, based on the RSI, we have been seeing, and we have seen it in the past as well. Whenever the markets are approaching an important undervalued, value undervaluation of around 30 or below, there has been corrections in the market. How many of you are understanding what I'm discussing? If you're understanding, let me know in the chat box below. If remember, the entire crux of technical analysis is based on the factor that if prices have or if prices have moved in a particular pattern in the past, we expect a similar movement to take place in the future as well. That is the golden crux of what you mean by technical analysis. So based on this particular stock, we would be expecting the prices to appreciate in value as well. All right. Now moving on to the next hot stock that we would be looking at. How many of you have taken trades on IP rings? Remember, this was the trade that had been able to generate us with 5% profit target, right? For this particular stock. How many of you have taken trades on this hot stock, and how many of you have made profits on this stock? If yes, let me know in the comment box and let me know the value in terms of how much you have been able to generate profits. So this stock had been provided. Yes, there is an additional value at 230 that is currently being running. But for those people who have taken trades on this particular stock, please bear in mind we had already achieved the break-even point, right? So the blue color line that you have been seeing had been the break-even price, where prices the average price had been, let me just write it in brackets, the average price. So break even price is nothing but the average price. We had, let me just show you the values in terms of where the stock for IP rings had been provided. So we had provided you with entries around 200, 205, as well as 190 and 195, right? So let me just put a line, 200, 205. So there was a trade that had been provided at a value of 200 and 205, as well as between 195, 190 and 199. So let me just type 190. So based on the trades that we had been provided, had you taken these trades, and I'm sure most of you have, if you would have taken the trades cumulatively, right? All the three trades running when prices had approached the structure, right? The important key resistance structure, which is around the 202 price level, you would have definitely been at break even or slightly in positive, right? Slightly making profits. So we keep informing all our viewers and our clients that it is not just important to take one trade, but it is very important to take all the trades that are being provided. Just because you take one trade and the prices go against, that is not an excuse for you to come back to us telling that why are we losing money, right? If you have been consistently following all our instructions, all our additional levels, right? If you had entered at 230 and you also entered at 200 as well as 190 with three trade recommendations, you would be making sure that you would be net positive, or you would be making little bit of profits, right? But you would not be losing money. That is the importance that I need to make sure everyone understands. So when you're taking our hot stock recommendations, make sure that you are following all the hot stock recommendations for that particular stock, correct? How many of you understand what I'm saying? If you understand, let me know in the chat box below. So based on this current trade, though the trade has been running, for those who haven't closed the positions, we had provided you with additional entries and we had been making decent amount of profits. For those who had taken just trades based on entry number 2 and entry number 3, for those people, you have done phenomenal, correct? Let me just show it to you on our financial sheet where we have been maintaining it in terms of IP rings, correct? Let me just showcase it to you. So in terms of IP rings, we had been provided with three trade entries, right? Three trading entries had been provided, and we had already achieved 5% profit target based on the earlier or the latest trade recommendations. So make sure you're taking the trades. If you had generated 10% cumulative profit on this trade, the one that is running in loss would have reduced your profit, but you would definitely not be in a loss. You would still be either at break even or you would be slightly making a little bit of profits. Do you understand? All right. If you understand and if you are clear about it, let me know in the comment box below. All right. Now, moving on to the next hot list, hot stock that we had shared, it was based on Poonawalla, correct? Now, I'm pretty sure everyone has been quite interested to know why is there a correction taking place in the markets. We had done all the analysis based on fundamentals and number crunching data to really understand why the prices have been correcting as of now. Remember today, as of today, the banking sector, right? Let me just show it to you quickly. When it comes to the Nifty bank sector, right? I hope people can see my screen. All right. So the Nifty bank sector has been currently at a declining phase, right? With a correction of 99.75 points or a correction of 0.19%. So the bank sector itself is having or is being undervalued as of today's market conditions. So even the internal stocks, right, such as Poonawalla or RBL Bank, the trades that we had been provided to you are currently more or less sitting or having some kind of correction taking place. But with today's day, which is to be given prime importance, you can clearly see that there is a good amount of volatility, bullish volatility that has crept into the markets, correct? So with such information that is being provided, we had also informed that there is a very strong area of support, or I would call it as demand zone, right? Demand zone and supply zones are those structures where a large number of orders which have not been fulfilled are still sitting at. So whether you want to call it as support, whether you want to call it as a demand zone, the functionality remains the same, but the wordings keep changing, correct? So with prices approaching an important area of support or demand zone, as well as with the prices being undervalued based on the RSI, right? How many of you have understood the importance and significance of RSI? Let me reiterate again. Whenever the RSI is undervalued, right? I hope people can see my screen. All right, so whenever the RSI is undervalued, right? Let me just mark it. Whenever the RSI is undervalued or when it is at 30 or below, there is expectation that is, there is bullish expectation in the markets. Let me put a horizontal line to show you exactly that. I hope people are understanding. Any doubts, any questions, you can always let me know. All right. So as of now, as you can see, even based on the past data, we have seen whenever the RSI is undervalued, there is a general context for the prices to appreciate, right? Whenever the RSI is undervalued, it is led by an increase in price. So as of now, as of today, we can see that the RSI has been undervalued and we should be expecting a similar reaction for this particular stock as well. All right, how many of you have understood this particular point? So moving forward, we would be keeping an eye on this, and for any movement or any extra or additional instruction sorry, that would be provided to you, I will make sure to provide, right? So do not take trades on your own as well. Make sure to confirm it with me so that I can let you know, or I could confirm back, right? So as of now, if you're telling should we enter as of now, please wait, hold your horses, because yes, there is optimism in the markets, but we need more clarity in terms of structure, right? You can clearly see that the markets have been in a strong downtrend movement, right? Let me use a parallel channel. So the markets have been more or less been in a very strong correction. Remember, we are looking at it based on 1 hour, right? Since we want to trade trading opportunities, we have to combine as many time frames as possible, whether it is the daily time frame, whether it is the 15-minute time, whether it is the 4 hour time frame, or the 1 hour time frame, right? So we are clearly seeing that since the entire trend had been bearish, right, prices had been oscillating between the bearish trend line or the bearish channel, and now there has been a breakout taking place. How many of you understand by what is a breakout? Do you know what a breakout stands for? If you know, let me know in the comment box below. With the onset of a breakout taking place, there is more confirmation or more, a sentiment in terms of prices having bullishness, right? The RSI had been undervalued quite extensively based on this time frame. The prices have been sitting in an important area of support, and we should be expecting this particular stock to appreciate in value moving forward. How many of you are understanding? But let me remind you, if additional entries have to be provided, I will provide it to you, right? For now, we hold on this particular trade, and we will keep an eye in terms of what necessary action has to be taken, correct? We looked at Hind oil. Let me go to the 4 hour. Now, how many of you have taken trades on Hind oil? Let me know in the comment box below. With Hindol also, we have been seeing that overall, though the sentiment had been bearish since August, right? August to September, September to October, October to November, November to December. 4 months have been passed, and in the prior 3 months, there had been good amount of bearish sentiment. Recently, just based on last month, we have been seeing that the markets are more or less on a neutral sentiment, right? Sideways sentiment. And you have to be aware that once the market shifts from a bearish sentiment to a neutral sentiment, there is expectation or optimism or higher probability for the markets to have a bullish sentiment. How many of you understand what I'm saying? If you do agree with me, let me know in the chat box below. So yes, for this particular stock, we have been providing you with many opportunities in terms of trade entries, correct? Let me just show it to you. So just based on Hind oil, we had provided you with four recommendations, right? Four hot stock recommendations, and based on the recommendations, we were expecting the price of Hind oil to appreciate, correct? Now, people have to understand that yes, we as analysts, we as traders will do our due diligence when it comes to providing you with high probability trades. But certain factors are way beyond our control. How many of you agree with what I'm saying? There are many factors that are outside our control, right? We have microeconomic factors, macroeconomic factors, geopolitical factors, policies, interventions in the economy, so on and so forth. Based on the last couple of months, I'm sure everyone is aware that there has been a good amount of geopolitical uncertainty that has been going across the globe, correct? There has also been a correction in the crude oil prices, right? Let me just showcase it to you on the Nifty oil and gas. You can be clearly seeing that the markets overall have been on a bearish sentiment, even on the oil and gas sector. It's not just the international crude oil prices that have been correcting, but the Indian oil and gas sector has been correcting as well. So if the international as well as the local oil and gas sectors have been correcting, or the prices have been retracing, we have been expecting a similar reaction to the stock of that particular sector as well, right? So for this particular hot stock, which is Hindustan Oil Exploration, we had been seeing that the markets over the span of the last 4 months, right, all the way from August till end of November. So the prior 3 months had been bearish, but recently the markets have subjugated from bearish sentiment to neutral sentiment. Keeping an eye even in terms of RSI, let me just quickly use my highlighter. Whenever, let me show it to you on this hot stock as well. Whenever the prices are approaching under valuation levels, right? Any value on the RSI that is at 30 or below, there is tendency for the markets to correct. How many of you are understanding this particular concept, right? Remember, we are not just providing you with hot stock recommendations, but we are providing you with learning, information as well, because we want you to earn and learn at the same time. So the markets have been doing quite phenomenally. Remember, as and how the markets are correcting, we should be expecting a bullish sentiment to creep up in the coming days. With the oil sector that has been discussed, we also had talked based on a seasonality approach, right? If the particular company had been appreciating in value based on the last year's and their respective months, we should be expecting. See, for 2021, the prices had been appreciating. In 2023, the prices have been more or less either neutral or at a slight appreciation. Based on 2022 and 2019, the prices had been inclining towards the positive value. So we should be expecting similar reactions to take place in the month of December 2024 as well for this particular stock. So you don't have to be worried. Yes, even though for those people who are feeling scared or who are feeling uncertain about what the markets are holding, you do not have to worry, because when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear. We will make sure to provide you with updated instructions in terms of what we expect this particular stock to do in the future. But our bias or recommendation is still optimistic, where we will be expecting the prices to appreciate in value, correct? How many of you are understanding? If you are understanding well, let me know in the chat box below. All right, good. Now moving on to D-Dave plastic, right? Even for D-Dave plastic, let me show it to you quickly based on our hot stocks, that for this particular hot stock we had provided you with just one entry that is currently running. Let me just double check with you again. Sorry, not just one, but we have two. So there has been a correction in the price. Anyways, so not one, sorry, we have many trades, right? Four trades that have been provided. So even I was confused a little bit. How come we have only one trade that was running? So on Gildave, we have provided you with four hot stock recommendations, right? Not four, but five. Five hot stock recommendations have been provided, with four hot stock recommendations attaining a cumulative profit of 28%, right? I'm sure you can see it at the bottom left. We have been sitting at a cumulative profitability of 28. So with one trade that has been running against you, I am pretty sure you should have been making money for this particular stock as well. Let me remind and reiterate that we are here in the markets to make money. It's not about being right or wrong. It is about making money in the markets and making money consistently. I hope everyone is clear with this point, right? So if you would have been following all our hot stock recommendations, the one trade that is going against should not have been of any concern for you, right? How many of you are understanding? If you are understanding, let me know in the chat box below. So we have been doing phenomenal on this as well. We have achieved great profitability. Just because one trade is running, people need to be aware that it is not, trading can never be based just on a single trade. Trading needs good amount of input in terms of sample size. We have been showcasing that we have been making fabulous returns, not just on the basis of one two or three trades. We have been taking 38 trades, right? So we have a very good sample size, right? 12 to 13 trades on an average per month. And that is how we have been showcasing that consistent profit generation in the markets is possible. How many of you are agreeing with me? If yes, let me know in the chat box. All right. With a similar situation on RBL Bank as well, as of now, you can see the markets have started to appreciate, right? Were prices expected to appreciate? Yes, right? I have talked to you in terms of the RSI and the power that RSI is bringing to the tables. So RSI, whenever they are entering into undervaluations of 30 or below, there is general tendency for prices to appreciate, right? We have been showing you these examples time after time, right? So since the prices have repeated a similar structure, we expect the markets to, have a similar reaction to it in the future as well. Please be aware that whenever the markets are approaching even the oversold territory, right, which is basically 70 and above, right? I'm talking about this particular dotted line. So whenever the prices are overvalued as well, there is tendency for the prices to react and correct from there as well. So we have to combine all the factors necessary, and based on those factors, can we be certain, or can we have more probability in terms of what the markets are going to do in the coming days? How many of you are understanding? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. So, looking at the last hot stock that we would be talking about, which is on our watch list, it's going to be based on Muthoot microfinance, right? Again, let me just show you based on our stock tracking how well we have done for this particular stock. So, Muthoot Finance, Muthoot Finance. All right, here. So for this particular stock, again, we had provided you with two hot stock recommendations, right? And we had been sitting already at a profitability of 5% for the trade entry that was provided on 30th of October at the entry of 200. So let me get back to the charts and let me show it to you. So the value at 200, let me put a line. So the value that had been provided to enter was based on 200, right? Somewhere over here. And we had made good amount of profitability. At that time, we had also informed that the prices are coming into an important area, which is nothing but a flip zone. How many of you are aware of what a flip zone is? If yes, let me know in the comment box below. So flip zones are zones that prices have already reacted to, right? Since the prices have come into a strong area of flip zone, we had informed our clients that there could be prices, or there could be a possibility for prices to reverse, and that is what the prices have done as well. So we have been informing time after time that whenever there has to be an improvisation in the markets, we will always let you know. So I hope people are understanding this crucial important point. Whenever additional trades are being provided, please make sure that you are taking additional trades as in how we are providing, because that is the only way that you can be making consistent profits, right? I'm sure everyone wants to make profits in the markets consistently, right? If yes, let me know in the comment box by saying yes, Harsh, we want to make consistent profits. So for you to make consistent profits, follow the live streaming sessions and follow all our instructions. And make sure to keep your trading account open so that you can take the trades in the future, as in how we would be sharing, right? So we still have around 5 minutes for the markets to continue. Let us have an overall lookout in terms of how the index has been performing based on Nifty. And you can see the markets had initially started with a bullish sentiment, but have are concluding the markets. Remember, just 5 minutes, right? So the markets have more or less finished what had to be taken place for this particular market session, and the markets had initially started with a bullish sentiment, but the markets are going to conclude with a bearish sentiment, right? In terms of all the other hot stocks that have been shared, we have informed you that the markets are still more or less on a neutral sentiment, and with the holidays that are expected for tomorrow as well as for New Year, we would be expecting a reduction in the liquidity, correct? I had also mentioned to all our viewers that tomorrow, being 25th of December, we would be having Christmas, and today itself, right? Today night, we would be having Christmas Eve. So, everyone who would be celebrating Christmas, I wish everyone a very happy, a very Merry Christmas, correct? A very happy and a very Merry Christmas. I wish this festive season brings joy to you and to your family members, and I would, provide all my greetings and all my wishes for you. So please make sure and be aware that tomorrow, being Christmas, the markets are going to be closed. Markets have already started to take into consideration how the markets are going to be reacting to day after tomorrow, right? I'm talking about 26th of December. So tomorrow, make sure that there are no trades that are going to be published since the markets are going to be off. And this is the time when you should be going and enjoying the festive season of Christmas with your friends, families, girlfriends, boyfriends, children, grandchildren, because it is the season of Christmas, correct? We went through all the charts, all the watch lists, and we have been showing more or less there has been bearish, sorry, more or less there has been neutral or a slight bearish sentiment. The markets have been holding a key important support structures for majority of our hot stock recommendations, and we had also talked about the significance of RSI, right? Whenever the RSI is being undervalued or overvalued, right? If the RSI is below the 30 level mark or below, it is called as being undervalued. If the RSI is above the 70 mark, it is called as overvalued. So whenever the RSI is undervalued, there is general tendency for the prices to start appreciating, correct? And vice versa, whether the markets are overvalued, right? As you can see, that is the general tendency for markets. That is the general tendency for markets to reverse or to start declining. So this has been the most crucial, important nugget that I have shared to you as of today's session. How many of you have found value in today's live streaming session? If yes, let me know in the comment box below. Right? How many of you have found value? Let me know in the comment box below. So people are saying yes, Harsh, we have found value, and this is the power that Dolphin Markets is providing to you. This is the power that Harsh is being able to provide to you. We do not just want to provide you with brokerage services, but we want to provide you with additional value, right? In terms of market analysis, in terms of hot stock recommendations, in terms of education. And you have been seeing on a daily basis the value that Harsh is being provided, right? With hot stock recommendations that are making you money, and with educational content that is making you smarter. So when you can earn and when you can learn, the combination is lethal, correct? Making you very successful and increasing your chances of making bigger returns when it comes to the financial markets. I hope everyone who have attended today's live streaming session has gained immense amount of value, because it is only shared at Dolphin Markets by the one and only Harsh, correct? If you have any doubts, any queries, you can always let me know. For any reason that I'm not able to get back, you can always contact my team of assistants, sorry, and they will provide you with all the necessary information that you require for making money in the financial markets. So let me wish everyone once again a very Merry Christmas, and make sure to arrive for the third live streaming session, where we will be focusing or we would be focusing on education, right? We would be shifting our focus from the Indian stock market and talking and discussing more about educational content. So please make sure that you arrive for the third live streaming session. Until then, I hope every one of you has a great afternoon, and I will catch you again for the third live streaming session. So have a great day and see you later. Namaste and take care. Bye bye.